Blessings on blessings, yeah.
Today
Yeah.
we'll be
Blessings on
continuing in
blessings,
our
yeah.
Matthew study. We will be doing Matthew chapter 22, top of the chapter, and we'll be continuing with the parable that Mashiach was sharing with the Pharisee. You know, the Pharisees asked Mashiach a question. Well, he asked them in return, was John the Baptist, was he sent from the Father or not? So he continued with a couple of parables which they covered last week, and this will be the third parable that goes in line with that line of questioning. I think it's pretty cool. It's pretty dope. We're gonna be talking about the king's wedding feast. Right? So we're gonna start off at the top of the chapter. I'm gonna read Matthew. I'm gonna read from verses 1 through 3. It says, Yahusha answered and spake unto them again by parables, and said, the kingdom of heaven is like unto a certain king which made a marriage for his son. And he sent forth his servants to call them that were bidden to the wedding, and they would not come. Right? So in this parable, in this parable, it's talking about a king, and this king is planning a marriage for his son, right? And he's sending out his servants, sending out invitations, you know, to the chosen, but they would not come. Now, this is supposed to be a magnificent time, right? And I want us to let's ponder on this a little, because it's a little strange, it's a little weird, right? The king, the king of the land, is one aspect to think about, and then he has those who are bidden, and then the servants are sent to those that was called. All right. The first thing that jumps out, let's think about, is my favorite term that's used in this, here. It says the kingdom of Shamayim, the kingdom of heaven is like unto. And what I would like people, like, I've did a message on this previously, and what I pointed out is, like, when it says that the kingdom of heaven is like, it's almost as if it's saying, like, the walk is like, when you're talking about the walk, or on this narrow path, this journey, you know, that when I think about that, that's why I would share it with somebody else. Like, in my walk, I've experienced this, or, in Keith's walk, we've went through this and went through that. And the point that I'm bringing out is that while we're on this journey, we all tend to jump over the same hurdles. We may came from different directions, but we all stop at the same, as you would call, checkpoints. You see, you know, especially like men, you always hear men talk about the first thing is just lust, you know, lust, or, taking having control over their fleshly desires, whether it be with women, or, you know, pardon my French, masturbation, or anything. It's just taking back control of one's flesh. And I would say that is how the kingdom of is a thought of saying, like, that's what the kingdom of heaven is like, because we are on a journey to make it to the kingdom of heaven that shall come down from the Shamaim, you see. So, you know, when I hear this, that is what it means to me. Is like, you're going to experience this on this journey, all right? So so everybody goes through it in a way, struggles with food, um, friends probably cutting you off, you being in the wilderness. Our ancestors was like that. Our ancestors was in the wilderness from around for a while. Family members friends don't kick it with you like that. They don't view you the same. You don't view them the same. Like all these things are things that happen while you're on this walk, while you're on this journey. So it's to be expected. It's to be it's to be expected because that's what the kingdom of Shamayim is like. That is what this journey and this walk is about. This is what it's like, right? Um, now the next thing I want us to take a look at is this word bidden. This word here, bidden, right? So it says that he sent his servants and call them which were bidden. What does bidden mean? And bidden means to call. So as you see, it says, and sent forth his servant to call they which are called. So it's the same word for called and bidden. So as you can see, like this parable is closely linked, possibly directly to the called. Well, who are the called? You see, who are who are those that are bidden? Who are those that are called out? You see, so now we're going to take this aspect. We're going to take the called people from the king. You see, and he sent his servant to beckon or to call those that are called to come to the marriage feast. Is that clicking for y'all? Is that clicking? I know y'all scholars, y'all. I mean, I ain't telling y'all nothing new. You know, put a one in the chat if it's clicking for y'all. If y'all are picking up what I'm putting down, put a one in the chat if y'all picking up what I'm putting down. You see? Now, the next issue that stands out, and this is the thing that we're talking now. Don't forget that Yahusha Mashiach is talking to the Pharisees. Now, last week, that the Pharisees was plotting to kill him, right? So he's talking directly to them again in another parable. Now, and he's saying that, those that are called were bidden to come to the wedding, and they would not come. They did not want to come. So it's the same for, if we think about it, we're going to get a little bit further into it. Who wouldn't want to come to the wedding, to the marriage? What is the marriage, right? We all know that, we've used, we speak about the wedding of our people in Mashiach several times throughout. It's the reuniting of the people, the kingdom, because the first marriage was broken when we had the covenant with Yah, and when we provoked him to anger, he forsook us, right? We broke it through our adulteries, but he had a plan to bring us back into the fold. It just couldn't be with him, you see. Once he put us on his righteous track and we turned, we repented and turned, called back on his name, he had a plan to bring us back in. The marriage, the joining back with the king, so that we could be back in his presence, you see. You would think that this would be a stupendous thing that our people wanted so much. Like, how many times have we read and that we've seen in this experience of the gospel, how people was jumping for joy, having their sins forgiven, so that they can be back in the presence and be back in a state that we get to experience and be with Yah in paradise with Yahusha forever. You see? That would be the plan. That would be the thing that the chosen people, those who are bidden, would want, right? But you would think that. I guess not everybody want that. So continuing, I'm gonna read verses 4 and 5. It says, again, he sent forth other servants, saying, tell them which are bidden, behold, I have prepared my dinner, my oxen, my fatling are killed, and all things are ready. Come into the marriage. So now he's like, look, man, come, it's like a person inviting you to the cookout. Like, man, come through, man. Look, I got the burgers on. We got the lamb. Come to man. Look, y'all need to come to Pesach because we got the snacks. You know, the imam's gonna be chefing it up. The potluck was banging last time. Yeah, we coming for the feast. But nobody want no plain lamb. Nobody, you look, y'all heard what Netanyahu said about that first matzah. Nobody want that matzah that was just you were just suffering through. You know, you put your order in. You might get a care package. You might get some of that, have you ever had lemon pepper matzah? Some pecan candies. You know, that special spices that the auntie be putting in the seasonings and whatnot and the foods and whatnot, man. Man, I hope y'all registered for Sukkot. I hope y'all registered for Sukkot because we're gonna have this daggone we're gonna have this chili challenge. And the last Sukkot, man, I'm trying to tell you, I had this. I know this is off topic. I'm just saying, like, this chili. I had this sweet potato chili before, and I ain't never have I ever had sweet potato chili before, and it was so good. I didn't even get the opportunity to taste the other three, and I heard those are smacking too. Y'all need to sign up for Sukkot. I need to sign up for Sukkot. You know, oh, the garlic and rosemary matzah. Man, look, lamb for days. Like, I mean, come on now. That lamb was moist, well seasoned. You ever hear somebody tell you, like, man, come through, man. I had the chicken marinating for 3 days. You know what I'm saying? You started drooling. Like, that's what the king is telling his people. He's like, look, man, like, man, come through, man. The food is ready. The food, man, I know, man, you can smell it right now. And even think about this, right? Think about this, like, when you invite people to a marriage, the marriage is a extremely important, like, special event, right? It's an event that you want to share. So the people that you don't just invite anybody at first, right? You think about close family members. You think about dearest friends. You think about the people that you favor, that you want to share this experience with, especially your child, like even your child in which that you are well pleased. You want to share this with those that you have that at some point in time have favor with you. How would you feel that those people that you love don't love you back? You writing out these you sending servants out, they probably well dressed. You probably put all this time into these invitations. You trying to find out all the things that they like that will please them. And they don't even want to come. How would you feel? How would you feel if that was to happen to you? How would you feel you trying to get all the right food and festivities so that your guests that you favor would enjoy, and they do what happened in this verse 5. You know, you're excited about the fatling, the ox, right? He says, man, all things are ready. He said, man, come through. Everything is ready. All thing you gotta do is say, Ariel cooked it, man. Ariel cooked it. It's, you know how people be, Ariel, we coming through. Ariel cooked this ramen. This was the maybe the pay when we was in Florida, right? I be thinking of when I make ramen now, I can't even make ramen the way I want to make ramen, right? And I'm sorry, Ariel. I'm just saying. We went to the store. I'm thinking I'm just going to cook my little eggs. Ariel made a ramen buffet with her own spices. I ain't never had a ramen buffet. Everybody came through for the ramen buffet. I'm like, Ariel did it again. She didn't even tell us what she was going to be doing. I thought she was just making ramen. It was a ramen buffet. Oh, you could put your chicken here. You got the eggs there. She made her own spices, her own soup. Everybody ate well. Y'all, man, y'all already know, man. Y'all already know, man. Come, man, look. If I said that Ariel, I gotta stop telling people. I can't just tell people that Ariel cooking something. Everybody be there with their plates. They got their little containers. People will be coming with styrofoam containers. You know what I'm saying? Cause you know if Ariel cooked it, if Auntie cooked it, if Ima Olivia, if any of the sisters, the Coatees, and you know it's clean. Come on now, Abba is gonna be with you with the food. Oxtails. Man, my stomach is. I'm messing myself. I be telling Ariel like stop it. She be sending me these messages. Y'all know what she be doing in the chat. Just I be hurting. I be hurting. She know what she doing. But imagine that in this situation. Imagine that in this situation. And he's like, man, come through, man, come, man. And guess what? In this verse 5, it says, but they made light of it. They made light of it and went their way. They made light of it and went their way. So what is that? So that means that they to make light of it means that they lightly esteemed. They didn't have the same joy or excitement for what the father like. They didn't meet Abba where he was. They didn't meet Abba where he was with this. You see, they did not meet him. They said, but they made light of it and went their way. They said some of them sent the servants away. It says one to his farm and another to his merchandise. He said they would much rather be at their farm and at their merchandise than to come to this extravaganza. It's a joyful time for them. And they didn't even want to come. They don't care about the food. They don't care. They don't even care about it's not like it's the king. It's the king that's putting this together. So it ain't no average run-of-the-mill thing. It's the king. So you know it ain't gonna be something small or just mid. And they didn't want it. So to get a better understanding of this lightly esteemed, let's take a look at Deuteronomy 32. Y'all know my favorite thing. Y'all already know. Let's do 32, 15, and 16, right? And in this situation kind of goes with mirrors this situation, right? In fact, I'll read 15. So it says, but Jerusalem, which is another name for Yisrael, right? Matter of fact, let's look at that. So we have Yashar, right? And run, right? So it's still upright. So we know who he's talking about, right? And well, it says Jerusalem, but it's Yashar again, right? We know what Yashar means. So Yisrael, Yashar, say, you got your Yod, your Shin, and your Resh. Upright, righteous. And this another part's going to come up. Remnant. Remnant's going to come up again, right? So there we go. Yashar. Um, the thing is continuing says, but Jeshurun wax fat says, and kick, thou art wax fat, thou art grown thick, thou art covered with fatness. Then he forsook Elohim, made him and lightly esteemed the rock of their salvation, the rock of his salvation, which is the same thing that they're doing here. Is like they lightly esteem the rock of their salvation. This marriage feast is for their salvation. Now, in 16, it says, they provoked him to jealousy with strange deities, strange gods, with abominations, provoked they him to anger. I want y'all to think about that. How is it that their light esteem provokes him to anger, and how is that directly linked to them serving strange deities, right? You see, in this situation that we saw, and let me go back, it said that when the servants came, they made light of this extravaganza, and they went their way to what? They put the farm and their merchandise over this momentous occasion. The farm was more important, was more important, they was more intrigued with, and their merchandise. But what is the farm for? The farm is for their gain, which is probably where they get their funds from too. And it goes hand in hand with their merchandise. So they put, and that ends up turning into what? The farm and their merchandise becomes what? Their idol. Idolatry. And that's why Yah is provoked to anger. They're worshiping, or they're putting first over Yah the creation over the creator. Even better than that, right? Even better than that, how are they able to have merchandise in the first place? Who protects them? What is the king's duty? The king's job he puts a hedge of protection. He has the army. He has the forces to protect them, to protect their merchandise, to protect their goods. He protects their farm from raiders. Also, shoot, we're talking about the king of Shammai, man. He brings the rain in his due season so that they can have crops and something to go to in the first place. I want y'all to think about that. They're putting all these things, and think about it when it comes to you, like, even today, like, people will put jobs, friends, they'll put their earthly gains over the one that controls whether or not they can enjoy the game. This wedding feast, the food, the kingdom, you wouldn't even be, we wouldn't even be a people if it wasn't for the plan, if it wasn't for the promise that Abba made. Abba didn't even have to make the promise. I just want y'all to think about that. Because it's not just talking about them. This could be touching home too. So the next example, let's take a look at 1 Samuel. Let's do 1 Samuel. 1 Samuel 2:30. It says, wherefore, O Yah Elohim of Yisrael, I said, indeed, thy house and the house of thy father should walk before me forever. But now Yahuwah saith, be it far from me, for them that honor me, I will honor, and they that despise me shall be lightly esteemed. So we have this situation that we can lightly esteem Yah, and then it can be reciprocated. It can be reciprocated. It says, for them that honor me, I will honor. That honor is equivalent to esteem. And they that despise me shall be lightly esteemed. You see, kabod heavily, bad sense, weighty, or in a good sense, and esteem. To be light, that means it's like being placed on a scale, right? Everything everything is worth it. Both of these situations or these Hebrew words is talking about value based on weight. That's how they used to weigh. It's like somebody saying, you know, this person or this thing is worth their weight in gold. They weigh. They're not trying to count every coin. They just put it together and they weigh it. That weight shows value and worth. You see, if you lightly esteem Yah, you don't give him the praise and the honor that he deserved, the respect, the appreciation, the reverence that he deserves. And I guess he's just like Yahusha says, shoot, I never knew you. I never knew you. Right? I never knew you. So continuing, getting back, but there are those, right? There are those that did even worse than that. You got some that just like, I would rather go back to the farm instead of get some of this good love and this good cooking, be a part of this momentous occasion. And then you have those, there was a a remnant. We still talking about the Yashar people. This parable is hitting so home. It says and the remnant took his servants and treated them spitefully and slew them. So It says, but the king heard thereof. He was wroth, and he sent forth his armies and destroyed those murderers and burned up their cities. And this is the reason why this parable lines up with the previous ones, right? We had the parable last week that spoke of, you know, a a merchant or owner of a vineyard. You know, he put these husbandmen or servants over over his land, over his crop, and to when he came to collect, when he sent servants to collect, to check in, you know, those servants dealt spitefully. Those servants who were they wouldn't even have that land whose job it was to produce good fruit, got big-headed, lost their way and lost their purpose, and was like, shoot, our master isn't even here. And we're just gonna take this land. They went as far as to kill the heir. They went so far to kill the heir. What were they thinking? What were they thinking? Thinking like, you know what? They're thinking so far ahead, like this is going to be our land. If we get rid of the heir, this land will be ours. See, the owner's just gonna give it up. And what did he do? He sent the army to destroy him. But why are we talking this? Because the Pharisees and Sadducees were sending people to try, they want to kill Mashiach. It's the same situation that he's in. They want to kill the heir. But in this situation, I just want to know, in this situation, right? Why would they kill the messenger? Like, what's up? Like, why? Like, why? Why kill the messenger? What did the messenger do? What did the messenger do that the messenger had to die? What did the messenger do? The messenger didn't do anything. The messenger he's just delivering them. He just got the invitation. He's like, hey, he's trying to make sure you get some of that good food. He's trying to make sure that he's trying to, you would think that he's bringing a good thing. He's bringing the what? He's bringing the good, it's good news. If this is good, if y'all know the good news that I'm talking about, put a 7 in the chat. Put a 7 in the chat. If y'all understand what I'm saying, that this is the good news. This wedding feast that they are invited to. And these servants who are of the bloodline, these who are bidden, these that are supposed to be the called out assembly, the dry bones, those that are bidden, those that are called. How are you called and you don't even want to be called? You're placed here to be called and you don't even want to be called. I think it was wise and just perfect for Mashiach to say it the way that he said it, you know? They're going to hate you because they hate me. That's what it is. They don't want to come to the marriage of the son of the king. They hate the son. They don't want him. They don't want to listen to his word. they don't want the they don't want the inter the they don't want the intercession. They don't want to be restored back to Yah. They don't want the melons and the leeks. You know, I believe it's, let me see, I think it's let's do Matthew. Let's do Matthew 23. Nope. It's the wrong button. Let's do Matthew 23. I think it's in there. It says, and it says that it's something special about these people. There's something special about these people that he says is that we are a people that do something. It's it's something that our people is known for. You see, our people are the children. You know, here it says, wherefore ye be witness unto yourself that you are the children of them which killed the prophets. Because prophets are messengers too. But it's in, you know, Abba forgive our ancestors. Abba forgive our ancestors. Because that's what our people do. It's nothing new. It's nothing new. The person that's trying to look out for you, you want to kill. This ain't nothing new. Think about it. When when Caleb and Yahushua went to spy out the land, and they came with that good report, and the other spies came with that poor report, when they heard that poor report, they tried to flip it. They tried to encourage the people like, nah, man, come on, man. If I be with us, man, we can take this land. We ain't worried about them giants. Look at them grapes. You see this thing? Look at the grapes. What did the people want to do? You know, Saul and Barnabas was sent. What was Saul and Barnabas being sent 2 and 2 for? They were supposed to go out and spread what? Put it in chat what they were supposed to spread. Maybe in my mind going blank. They were supposed to spread something. What was they supposed to spread? It's something. They were supposed to spread the gospel. But what is it? What is it called again? It's something. It's another word. It starts with a G. It's this. What is it?
Good news.
That's the one. They were supposed to go and spread the good news. Guess what? Guess what Yahushua and Caleb was doing? There's nothing new under the sun, y'all. They went to spy out the land, and they came back with what? They came back with good news. They came back with good news. And what did the people want to do when they came back with that good news? They tried to pick up stones to stone them. They wanted to stone them because of their faith. They wanted to stone them because they believed. They wanted to stone them because the way the people was feeling, they wanted to feel that way. They wanted to stone them because the rest of their faith was bared witness to the lack of faith and the unbelief of the people in that time. Their joy and their faith witnessed against the people that they hated Yah, that they hated. It was just like that hate that they had for the manna. Oh, all we got is this manna. Give me some meat, man. Nobody want this beautiful thing that the rest of the world don't get. This treasure thing from the Shamayim. We got it every day. And it tastes so amazing. We want the thing that we get all the time. It's crazy. It's crazy. The good news is for them. The good news is good news. It's for them, and they don't want it. Crazy is that. But it's nothing new. It's nothing new. So what did Abba do? He says, but when the king heard thereof, he was wroth. He said, okay, okay. And he sent forth his armies and destroyed those murderers and burned up their cities. All right, whatever. You're going to come for my son? You're done. They wanted to try to kill Caleb and Yahushua. The father was not having it. He went crazy on him. He went crazy on him. What happened when Mashiach was crucified? Even though it was a part of the plan, them people, it was terrible for our people. That's innocent blood right there. That's innocent blood being spilled. Should our people try to kill Aaron, Aharon, and Moshe? Didn't David people wanted to kill him at some point in time too? What is up with the tribe of Judah and trying to kill our own people? Our people to this day is still killing their own people. But people will love to blame it. They try to say, man, it's Esau. Or it's the so-called white man, it's his fault. It's the trap that they put us in. It's the guns that they put in there. It's the drugs that they put in there. No, it's the spirit of the people that is there. It's in the blood. It's in the blood. When you read Torah, it always baffles me how the north and the south of Israel was warm with each other. But it doesn't strike me that much because we forget that Japheth, Shem, and Ham are brothers. And what do? It's wars, rumors of wars, killing, murdering. We're all related. They caught that spirit. It's that spirit that they caught. So that's why we gotta let's take a look at one more thing real quick that comes to mind. That's why we gotta this Luke 10. Let's take a look at this Luke 10, right? And I just want to jump down to the bottom, right? Luke 10, let's do, I would say 25 to 35, but let's just do 35. And let's do 36. And it's talking about the Good Samaritan, right? He said, which now of these three thinkest thou was his neighbor unto him that fell among the thieves, right? Who is really your neighbor? Is it really just the people because of the blood, or is it people based on their actions? Based on their actions. Your neighbor is the one that really cares about you. Your neighbor is the one that's going to make sure that when he sees you, he's not going to walk around you. The one that really cares about you is the one, it's the one that's going to do right by you. Not the one that's going to walk on the opposite side of the street. It's the Good Samaritan. You see, it's important that we understand that it's not just based off of it's not based off blood. These people killing their own brother. He just sent a message. Party favors. He probably came excited, like, hey man, look, man, the king come through, man. Man, we just left. We just left man. We just left the festival, man. Everything smells good, man. Come through, and they probably beat him up and killed him. Man came in happy and left dead. That is crazy. That's crazy, but that's what our people do. So moving forward, it says, then saith he to his servants, the wedding is ready, but they which were bidden were not worthy. Go ye therefore into the highway, as many as you shall find, bid to the marriage. So the servants went out into the highways and gathered together all as many as they found, both bad and good, and a wedding was furnished. So since those who were called didn't want to come, now they're not even worthy. That's that matching of, because they did not honor Yah, they became lightly esteemed, straight from the scripts. They're not, he said that they are not worthy of it now. Because of don't let your actions make you not worthy, because they lightly esteemed him. I want y'all to understand, because they lightly esteemed him, they become not worthy. And now it's like, hey, go out and just, man, look. Now he wants to see, man, who wants to come? Who wants to come? Who wants to come and and enjoy this momentous occasion? Forget those people that didn't want what I'm offering them. Man, find somebody that really who appreciates the king. Who wants some of this good food, because it ain't gonna go to waste. Who wants, man, bring them all in. Bring them all in. He said he gathered together all as many they found, both bad and good. He said both bad and good. And the wedding was, this word furnished is filled. To fill. Fulfill. And this verse, right? I just want to touch on this just for a hot second. But don't get it twisted, right? I don't want people to get it twisted or misconstrued. You see, just because people would like to use this verse, you like to use statements like this or parables like this, and try to say that Israel is no longer the people. That because of this, it's just the Gentiles now. And there are some Christians that believe that, like, Israel is not the people no more because because they forsaked him. He went and got another people that he placed over them. He did not. That's not the case. Or they'll take this. They'll take this John 1, John 1, John 1:14. It says, and the word was made flesh and dwelt among us, and we beheld his honor as the only begotten son. Let's see, hold up. Maybe it's not that. Maybe it's before it. Okay. He says, he came into his own, and his own received him not. But as many as received him, to them gave he the power to become sons of Elohim, even to them that believe on his name. Show you right. But some people will take this and say, well, those people that believe on his name, since they didn't believe, it's going to be another people. But it's a famous script that knocks that out the park. And it says, and I'm gonna paraphrase this, is like, the sun and the moon will have to perish away before Israel will cease to be a people before Yah. That means that the sun, moon, the stars will have to fall and not be there anymore. So when that happens, then you can probably say that maybe, you can probably start to say that Israel will cease to be a people before Yah. But we be seeing the moon and the sun every day. Matter of fact, a new moon just came a couple days ago. So I still think that the people of Israel is still a people before Yah. So don't be listening to that nonsense that these people, these thieves and robbers, be out here doing out here. Don't get caught up in the fast tomfoolery, thievery that's going on out here. The other portion about this that I want to talk about is this bad and good. He said they brought in the bad and the good. And it's another, I'm not going to bring it up, but they went out and they saw, and it reminds me of what Yahushua told the Pharisees and the Sadducees, saying like, hey, these publicans and these prostitutes are going to make it in because of their belief. They're going to make it in before you. Also the saying, like, man, look, he says those that are whole don't need a physician. He also says that, hey, I didn't come for the righteous. I came to redeem the sinners. I came to give these people that are on the wrong track, help them get on the right track. So when these publicans and these prostitutes, he's giving them an opportunity to turn and repent. To turn and repent and turn from, when they receive this good news from Joshua and Caleb and believe, they'll repent and they'll turn. And they'll make it. And they will make it. So yeah, they invited the bad and the good. Cool, that makes sense. That makes sense. Maybe because, it's an invitation. Mind you, it's an invitation. So continuing, it says, But something happened. Something happened, right? And when the king and when the king came in to see the guests, he saw there a man which had not a wedding garment. And he saith unto him, Friend, how camest thou in hither, not having a wedding garment? And he was speechless. And then he said, and then said the king to the servants, Bind him and bind him hand and foot, and take him away, and cast him into outer darkness. There shall be weeping and gnashing of teeth. For many are called, but few are chosen. I went too far. You see, people take this thought, right? This thought of, if you heard of "Come as You Are," put a one in the chat. If you haven't, put a two in the chat. If you heard that "Come as You Are," put a one in the chat. If you haven't, put a two in the chat. You see, it's this "Come as You Are." After I read, before I read Torah, you know, when I heard "Come as You Are," it made sense to me. It made sense. It made sense to me. And it was like, all right, cool. That makes sense. People in need, they come in there, come as you are, come in here and get the good news and this, that, and the third, right? But after I continue to read Torah, read Torah, I've been more and more conflicted with it, right? Why? Because I've learned to have reverence for Yah, and I understand that this is for his name's sake, and you know, he wants you to be clean before, in his presence. He wants you to wash your clothes before he come down and speak with you, the king of all things, right? That's that Exodus 19. Look, before I come down and talk to the people, make sure that they consecrate themselves and wash their clothes. I talked about that before, right? They're going to see a wonder. Abba's coming. Abba's coming, y'all. So when I hear this, I always feel conflicted. And the first verse I always bring out to people is this one, the wedding garment. And you might get some people that be like, well, what they say, like, well, it's like a party or whatever. It's like, well, people didn't show up anyway. Ain't nobody, when people be like, well, I'm gonna come as I am because shoot, ain't nobody in that party anyway. Nobody cares about a black tie event or whatever if nobody shows up. Y'all should be happy that I'm here. People get puffed up like that, you know. But like I said, as I continue to walk in this truth, I notice that people that's not even in Torah, because of the reverence for Yah, they watch how they talk around me. Some people watch what they eat around me. And I don't even say any, it's not like I'm checking them. It's not like I'm saying, hey, don't say stuff like that around me. To them, they think it's because of me, but I know it's because of Abba, because I'm only doing what I'm doing because I just want people to see Abba. I want people to give the reverence. I want people to see that light that is reflecting off of me. You know, I want them to give praise to Abba. So when they say like, "Oh my bad, man, I know that you're a righteous man. I ain't trying to disrespect." I just feel like I'm just passing that to Abba, man. I'm only doing what Abba told me to do. So praise, give praise to Abba and hallelujah. If you could find people that have reverence for even to bridle their tongue in their mouth, when it comes to people that has to come to holy convocations and stuff like that, like, and you saying come as they are, you're gonna have to check people at the door. Even if you got to give them some clothing. I heard of some imams that saw some occultees and was like, oh, they probably didn't know no better. But look, before you come in here, hey, put this on. Don't wear that. That we can't wear that in here. You put this on. You know, I only think it's correct. We gotta come with the right respect. And if we don't, if we don't, if we don't set the line, if we don't set the line or set the bar that's like for our reverence, nobody else is going to reverence them that way. That's why people come, and you see videos and stuff on YouTube of people coming dressed to impress or wearing skin tight, overly revealing clothes or stuff like that in some of these church videos, because they're not coming for y'all. They're coming for the people. They're not coming for y'all. They're coming for the people. They fear the people rather than they feel y'all. Isn't that what's the issue that the Pharisees said? When he asked them, he was like, well, if we say this, then he would say, well, why didn't they believe? And then afterwards, if they said the latter, then they would fear the people because the people hold John to be a prophet. They feared the people. So this script, this parable situation that's talking about this wedding garment makes perfect sense. You can't come in there, you can't come in there wearing what you want. This is still the king's. You're coming before the king. It doesn't even matter if people did or did not show up. You still coming before the king. And you need to come correct. This is a wedding. You need to come with honor. You wouldn't have no merchandise. This is the one that protects. This is the one that keeps justice and judgment. This is the one that's guiding you in the righteous way to Yah. This son, if you show him favor, you'll have favor with the king. And you're not going to come with a wedding garment? That man stuck out like a sore thumb in the midst of them. So he continued, like he said, friend, um, why did you come here not having a wedding garment? It said he was speechless, like, am I really seeing what I'm seeing? Am I really seeing what I'm seeing? Like, what's going on? What's up with that? Look, somebody got fired that night because it's like, how did you have the invitation? With this invitation, there's a dress code. Whoever's at the front door, they got fired on the first. They had one job. One job. That person making it in, they probably got someone fired. I'm just saying. Who is in here with? I try to tell y'all, man, that they'll be trying to get in with those felines, man. It was free to get in, but he has to pay 20 because of shoes, man. I'm trying to tell you. He said it was his lucky felines. But you can't do that. There's a price to pay. And because they didn't come correct, this person was bound hand and foot. It was thrown out the back, thrown in the alleyway. They took him. They didn't even take him back out front. They took him and threw him out the back. He said I know this feeling because I had to do this a couple times. bound hand and foot, and take them away and cast them into outer darkness. There shall be weeping and gnashing. There's always weeping and gnashing of teeth. There's always weeping and gnashing. There's going to be weeping and gnashing of teeth when these people in it's prophesied, there's going to be weeping and gnashing of teeth when people choose the beast over Yah and they catch these plagues because they got the wrong mark. It's going to be weeping and gnashing of teeth when they got to experience that painful outer darkness. It's going to be weeping and gnashing of teeth when those hailstorms and mountains start to crumble all over them. They're going to hate the prophets even more. They're going to come after the saints even more. It's prophesied. Y'all better prepare y'all kids. All because the lack of honor and esteem. All because of lack of honor and esteem. So you need to have the right dress code, y'all. You got to have the right dress code. It doesn't matter if you are invited, because many are called. But in order for you to get in, you got to be in. Many are called, but few are chosen. He went out to the highway. They went out in the highways and byways and called people. They went out to the highways and byways and called people. Just because you're called, it doesn't mean you're chosen. Just because you're called, y'all, it doesn't mean just because you're called and you're invited. If you ain't got the look, if you ain't got the golden ticket, if you ain't got the first off, you got to have the invitation to even come. And just because you have the invitation, if you don't got the right dress code, you ain't making it in. If you ain't got that, if you ain't got that full garment of righteousness, if you ain't covered, if you ain't got the crown, if you ain't got the girdle, if you ain't got that mark, if you ain't got that sign, you can't come in. See, just because those people was bidden, they wasn't worthy. Hey, look, just because some branches was broken off so that you can be grafted in, hey man, you can be broken off too. You are no better than the original branch. So share this with your friends. Share this, you know, because this is Yah's way, you know. This isn't our way. This isn't your way. It's Yah's way. The wedding is coming. And people think that they're going to get in there their way. Break this down for somebody that really cares, because they think that if they just become a good person, if I'm just a good person in my own eyes, I think I'm going to be okay, instead of I know I'm getting in there. And with that being said, I pray this message bless you. I pray that, matter of fact, I'm just going to pray. Abba, Total Rabbi, for this opportunity to be able to spread your word and to be able to reflect this light. Abba, it's hard out here, and it's a lot of confusion. It's a lot of trickery out here. There's a lot of lies and a lot of foolishness. But you sent your son and told us to, beware of the false teachers. Beware of the deceit. Don't be deceived. Pray, he says to pray that you don't fall into temptation. And he constantly be the example of obedience and reminding of the reward. He showed us everything that we needed to do to be honorable, to gain favor, to be properly esteemed by you, so that we can be worth our weight, that we can be the chosen peculiar people that you designed us to be, that you desire us to be. Abba, bless us, correct our hearts. For those of us that are struggling with our beliefs, man, Abba, please bless our unbelief. Bless us, correct us, continue to prune us, Abba. Because I'm trying to make it to the cookout in the afterlife. I'm trying to sit there, I love playing spades with Yehokanan and Zay and them. But man, if I can play some spades with Abraham, Caleb, Yahushua, if I can be in the light of the king, if I can feel that light that brings life instead of that darkness, if I can just be outside of this curse of this flesh in that Deuteronomy 28, if I could, that would be unimaginable. I'm trying to be there. I'm trying to be there. And I know the rest of those that's on this call, they're trying to be there too. So Abba, do you know what you need to do. You know what we need, Abba. I pray all these things in Yahushua Mashiach's name. We say hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah.